Hey babies, I am going to record another video downstairs and show everyone what's going on in the garden, but you're deeply embedded in writing a whole bunch of taps and various other things for a couple of events that are coming up.
Yeah, so there's a lot of resistance to get through to write the taps for the holiday event we're having.
So that's the Thanksgiving
Yes,
SFT Tapping Event.
yes, and then there's and
There you go.
then there's the Indigenous
Healing Event.
event, which is the next day. So that's like a couple hundred taps and each one is like hitting a target, energetic hitting a target. So they have to be like really concise and constructed well.
Yep.
So,
All right, so before I go downstairs, and so here you are, you're on your laptop, you're working on the kitchen table. For some reason, you didn't want to go downstairs, but...
well, because the dogs are out there, you're out there, I feel closer to you. And this is Raw Cat's office. And I'm in the cat's office right now.
All right, so before I go downstairs, let me just quickly explain to everyone... Sorry, go ahead.
Isn't this the most handsomest cat in the whole wide world?
Everyone, that's Rodcat.
Murphy's his given name, but Marvin gave him the name of Raw Cat because he acts like a dog and he looks like a cat.
Well, he is a cat, but he thinks he thinks he's a dog. Okay, so before I go downstairs and show everyone what's going on in the garden, in the veggie patch, so we've got two upcoming events. One's called the Thanksgiving SFT Tapping Event. It is on the 23rd of November at 11 a.m. New York time. Get that in your calendar as quick as possible. We want to see thousands and thousands of people on the live stream. It's free. Just jump onto the live stream link for either YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Okay, so we're concurrently live streaming on those three platforms. So that's that. And then the day after, so the 24th of November, this one's going to be at 5 p.m. New York time. We're doing an Indigenous Healing Event, and that is on the portal of the Native American Heritage Day. It's not something that I'm particularly familiar with, but it is a portal. And so portals are particularly useful, points in time and space to do the energy work. So we're going to be doing that on that time. But we're going to be doing tapping for all Indigenous peoples all over the world, and it will be non-partisan. So there's no blame from one party to the other. There's no victimhood, there's no perpetrator, there's no victimhood. It's from a higher vantage point. Jen, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and so the intention with that is to connect all people back to the earth, back to their birthright, back to the empowerment that was stripped away from them. So it's above the vantage point of them versus us. So there is no enemy. There's only empowerment to each individual.
Absolutely. And think about it this way. Once you realize they've had thousands and thousands of incarnated lives, not all of which have been on Earth, it makes sense that every one of us, 8 billion people on the planet, have been indigenous and usurped at some point.
Ooh, and those of us who don't feel comfortable on Earth, like they were taken from their home planet.
There you go.
You can use those taps to release the trauma of being usurped from your home planet.
That's pretty cool. Now, when we do these live stream events, we often invite 6 people into the recording studio with us. Usually we have people from our Jenuine Healing community. What would be really cool, and this is a call out, and anyone that's watching this, please help us make this happen. What would be really cool is to have 6 Indigenous community leaders from all over the world in the studio tapping with us. All right, so we need to reach out to them, give them my contact details, share with them one of the group tapping events so that they get an understanding of what it's all about. It will be non-partisan, it will be healing, it will be uplifting, it'll be from higher consciousness. They're going to want to be there. The only issue that we have is we've got a small amount of time, and we need to find Indigenous leaders, and it'd be great if we can get a representation from all corners of the earth.
Now, another important reason to help us with this is because this was this is an intention that you were given. So when Marvin gets these higher intention purposes, I like to breathe life into them, because the more we can empower male energy in doing the dynamic goddess energy, the more we can empower our beings. So if you could help us out with that, that would be great.
100%. All right, Jen, slap you on your bum. Go and get back to work. Go and fire up your little computer. Start doing more taps.
Oh, we only got like 75 now. We need 100.
For each event. So
Yeah.
you're going to be busy.
Yeah.
All right. So while you're doing that, I'll take everyone outside and I'll show them a couple of things that's going on in the garden.
He's so excited about this, people. Just feel his enthusiasm is healing enough. So.
Indulge me as I take you for a walk into the garden. Okay?
All right.
I'll be back in a sec.
All right.
All right, so here we are, back in the garden. There's a couple of things that I wanted to show you, and I wanted to start here. This is our patch of, well, this is one of our patches of cucumber, but what I specifically wanted to show you is that these guys are growing fairly big at the moment, and they're starting to want to climb. So if you can see this helps them climb. So what I'm doing at the moment is I've just put a little string up to help it find its way, cheating a little bit, helping it find its way up onto the trellis system. I'll show you that in a second. But basically these things want to go vertical, and all of these little, I don't know what you call them, runners maybe, they are the things that just hang on to the trellises, right? So all of these little things here, that's how they basically stay locked into the trellis. So we do have a couple of little, oh my God, I got a, Merle is doing a pee, oh my God, on one of my little cucumbers. So that's one thing that I wanted to show you. Another thing that I wanted to show you is the progress of some of the tomatoes. So I'm fairly certain last time I showed you how each of these have been trellised up. And so they're starting to get a degree of vigorous growth. And so they now need, see, I now need to train all the new growth up into the trellis so they can support each other, or support themselves actually. But what I also wanted to show you is these little flowers are starting to create little baby tomatoes like that one. And so they're already starting to form. There's that one, there's one in the back. Oh, there's dozens, there's two here. So not all plants are at the same level of maturity, but a lot of them are already starting to get tomato fruit. And then I actually think we will get tomato just before Christmas. That's usually the benchmark. If you can get ripe tomatoes around Christmas, that is a extra blessing. How's that? The other thing that I wanted to show you is how I've recently topped up each one of these pots with additional material, soil material. So we took a foraging run down to the cattle yards, our local cattle yards, and got cow poop. And so I've put cow poop all through these, and so the objective is to get the tomato plants to grow vertically with as little green foliage as possible low down, so that you can then backfill with additional material and help it generate new root growth. So basically all of the about 3 or 4 inches of additional soil type material, organic material that I've put in there, that will now, in that 3 or 4 inches, it will start propagating new root growth, and that will make your plants even more vigorous. another thing that I wanted to show you was in this bed here that has a whole bunch of Roma plants in it, it has a fairly permanent trellis structure. It's a wooden trellis structure. And what I do is I hang string or line from the top of the structure downwards to support the main stem of the plant, and that's just another way of trellising. I don't think I'd do this again. This structure cost about $600 to build, and to be honest, I think it's just a little bit too expensive, but I wanted to play with it as an idea and just experiment. So I put this structure up about well, this is its third season. That's the trellis structure at the moment. Take a zoomed out shot. But yeah, so that's how kind of that works. And so one of my jobs today is to run the strings down and start supporting each one of these plants, because they're starting to get large enough and they're getting a lot of green leaf material that they're finding it difficult to support under their own weight. So here's a great example. This little fellow here, if this netting wasn't in the background, it would start to topple over. So what I'm going to be doing is running a string down from the trellis, running it down, and then tying it at the bottom of the stem so it's nice and secure, and then the line, and then just feed the line so that it promotes the stem from growing all the way up. And here's just another great example. I don't know if you'll notice this, but here's where I've topped up and sort of put another sort of 3-4 inches of cow poop in the beds. And as we go around, I won't open up all of the rest, but I just wanted to show you the second bank of cucumbers. So this whole row of cucumbers here are starting to get mature enough, so they're going to be sending out those little runners, and those runners are going to be doing basically what this is doing. So this was here from last year, right? So the runners, they just wind themselves up on the trellising material, and that's how they support themselves. Pretty ingenious, pretty clever nature, I think. They're very amazing, very resourceful. Of course, we've always got a dog or two on guard. These dogs love chasing birds, and they're very good at chasing birds. The downside is that they bark a lot. They're little barkers, aren't you, hey? Yeah, ho ho ho. Yeah, you guys all bark too much. Anyway, so there you go. I hope that was interesting and useful, and keep you guys up to date. One of our other tasks today is, oh my god, the dogs are going. One of the other tasks today is to pot up the what we're propagating on the peach and nectarines and so on. So that's just another job for today. Okay, hope you're all good. Bye for now. Catch you next time. Yeah, see you later.